If you had told me 20 years ago that I would be living in Kansas, married to a vegetarian, and earning my living as a motivational speaker, I would have told you to have your head examined. Those changes come, and those changes go. And you know it because you're going through it right now. Those changes come and go, and if you're not careful, it's very easy to get confused. One of the things I've learned in those 20 years is that some of life's greatest joys are found in the most unexpected places. And so I think one of the keys is to remain open to the possibilities. Most human beings are not hardwired to do that. So I think when you find somebody who's figured it out, it's worthwhile to tell their story. She did some other things to make her goals visible. She started to carry around a gym bag. And on the bag, she collected Olympic pins. Pins from all the Olympics that happened before the one she wants to go to. She would use this bag to meet people. She'd go up to them and she'd say, "Hi, my name's Karen. Someday I want to go to the Olympics. This is my bag." And then she would tell you the story of the pins. She'd say, "You see, this is a 1936 Olympic pin. This is the Olympics where Jesse Owens won the gold medal in Hitler's Nazi Germany. He said, don't ever tell anybody they can't accomplish something because of the color of their skin." In 1936. This is the 1972 Olympics. This is the Olympics where Mark Spitz won 7 gold medals before Michael Phelps even existed. Nobody had ever done that before. Mark Spitz did in 1972 for the USA. This one over here, 1980, United States and Soviet Union. Hockey! The Russians always beat us, the Russians always beat us, the Russians always beat us. But then they had the Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. Local people, they start showing up. They start going to the hockey games. They're saying USA, USA, USA. These guys weren't even good, but USA, USA. Early in the thing, guy knocks a puck into the net in Czechoslovakia, USA. And by the end of the week, Al Michaels on television said, "Do you believe in miracles?" Yes! 1980. Far side of the bag, there was an area that Karen had colored over and over and over again with a black magic marker. And if you point to that area of the bag and you say, "Hey, Karen, what's that all about?" She'd look at you with all the determination in the world and she'd say, "That's for the 1996 Olympics. Those are the Olympics I'm going to go to." He talked about 3 different types of leaders. He picked up a glass of water and he took an aspirin. He said, there are some leaders that are like this aspirin, and he stuck it in the cup. He said, see what happens with this aspirin? It kind of drops to the bottom, it kind of falls apart, kind of does nothing. There are a lot of leaders like that. He said, some leaders are like this bromo-seltzer. Watch what happens with bromo-seltzer. He put the bromo-seltzer in the water. Some leaders are like this Alka-Seltzer. Watch what happens with this Alka-Seltzer. He puts it in the water. He said, see, it goes to work slow and steady and enthusiastically and energetically, and there's all kinds of excitement. How many of you have visited colleges? And you have a brother or sister, so you know people have these little whiteboards on their doors, and you know, Bob is at the library, he's studying, here's his cell, I am him. Everybody on our floor had one of these except for Kate. Kate had a poster. The poster went from the top of the door to the bottom of the door, and the poster said, "Don't knock, stay out, go away, die." Kate was a communication major. I thought she had a bright future ahead of her. She was very good at being direct and keeping it simple. But this created problems for me because I was the social coordinator on my floor. I was in the hall council, and every Wednesday night, my job was to get everybody out of their room, come down to the lobby, eat pretzels, drink juice, and socialize. I thought I was brilliant. I called it punch and munch. Loser. But that's what I would be doing. Come to the punch and munch. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Don't be a stick in the mud. Come on down to the punch and munch. And the first 2 weeks, I got to tell you, I saw that poster, and I just skipped the door. And then like the 3rd week, I was talking to this friend of mine as I'm knocking on doors, and I accidentally knocked on Kate's door. And the door opened. And this voice on the other side of the door said, "Bob, right?" I said, "Yeah." "Got a minute?" "Well, I got to make sure that the pretzels and the juice all get started." She said, "It'll just take a minute." I said, "Okay." She said, "Come in." So I did. She said, "Here, sit down." So I did. She said, "You comfortable?" I wasn't. Well, I looked up, I said, "Sure." She said, "Good, come here." I leaned in, and she said, "I really hate people like you, Bob." And I was offended. Why?
She said, you want to know why, Bob? I'll tell you, because you're a go-getter. And go-getters like you make life difficult for people like us.
Question. Show of hands. Is attitude important? How many of you think attitude is important? Raise your hand. You're wrong. Okay, this is the strangest motivational speech I've ever seen. It's a trick question. Attitude's not important. It's essential. You talk to anybody who's successful in life, and they will tell you if you don't have the right attitude, it will not happen for you. But attitude is one component. Vision is another component. Courage, hard work, persistence, components. And they weave together to form what we call a complete, well-rounded human being.